Hey guys, M.V.K here, back again. How's everybody doing? Welcome back. Doing a little voiceover today for the Nick's Patreon request from Lorenzo Small. And for his third one, as you all know, everything is involving my favorite hero, Spider-Man. And this time around, guys, it is SpiderManRogues. I still want to see live action. So, as you all know, Spider-Man has one of the most eclectic and great rogues gallery. There's only truly one character in comics that rivals his rogues gallery, and that's Batman. And I've always said you can take those two characters and switch their rogues gallery and they would work pretty much. But as we saw through the MCU or Tom Holland's run, there have been a few villains we have seen. And we've seen our Green Goblins, we've seen Electros, the Venoms, the Rhinos. Though I do wish Rhino got a better, real, accurate version of him and not some guy in a mech suit. We've seen Doc Ock, we've seen the Sandman, Lizard, Shocker, Vulture, all those greats. But there's still a lot that can be used in the big screen, and I put together 8 characters. Lorenzo didn't give me a number, but here are pretty much 8 characters that I can see in live action. Okay, number 1 on the list, guys, we are going to a character I can see starting out as maybe an adversary in a Spider-Man movie live action, but then turning into an ally, just like in the comics. And that's the Puma. Mr. Fireheart, it comes from a long line of warriors. We don't see enough Native American comic characters in these movies. I think it'd be great to see this character. And in the beginning, yeah, he did fight Spider-Man a couple of times, but over their couple of battles, he turned a new leaf, and he became an ally that really respected Spider-Man as a character, and that was something that I really thought was cool. As a humanoid were-cougar or were-cat, you know, he's got all the abilities of what you would think of a puma have: super strength, speed, heightened senses, you name it. It was always cool. And he's not only just a kind of a mercenary, but he's also an entrepreneur. He owns his own corporation, Fireheart Corporation. So I could see Puma being definitely one of those characters you see as a adversary at first, and then turns into an ally in a sense. Because at the end of the day, Puma is just cool, and I never thought him to be a villain at all. Number 2 on the list, of course, is my favorite Spider-Man rogue, Kraven. He's number 1 in my opinion. He's above Green Goblin. He's above Doc Ock. I love Kraven the Hunter. And yes, guys, I know you're probably saying, Chris, but he's getting his own solo movie. Yeah, his own solo movie that shouldn't be coming out, because at the end of the day, it's not with Spider-Man. Yes, there is a story behind Sergei Kravanov's origin, but it's his true attraction and joy of hunting and trying to defeat Spider-Man, who he feels is his ultimate prey. Kraven rarely in the beginning, Kraven never really went after any other adversary outside of Spider-Man. And then later on, we saw him deal with characters like Black Panther, Elektra, Wolverine at one point, things like that. But Kraven, I still want him in a Spider-Man movie, not in his own movie. And this is the problem that I have with Sony. They do these movies, these solo movies for these characters. They know if they That's the only way they can truly hold on. They need to hold on to the movie license of Spider-Man. They need to, in a sense, feel that they're still getting a profit out of this, even though a lot of the help is coming from Marvel Studios. But in more so, they own the movie rights to these characters, and they just feel, okay, well, we put it out, even if they're characters we don't want. We want Kraven and Spider-Man, not Kraven Saragade with whoever they're gonna put. Are they gonna have his half brother Chameleon in there or not? But the fact of the matter is, it kind of bothers me that Kraven is. We're not gonna see Kraven with Spider-Man, but in his own solo movie, which I never cared for. Next on the list is a character that I am probably not the only one we've been wanting to see in the MCU or just live action, and that's the Hobgoblin. Yes, we have seen the Green Goblin, of course, just there. Spider-Man and goblins, we all know they do. I mean, there's Green Goblin, Hobgoblin, Demo Goblin, Proto Goblin, there's Gray Goblin. There's all these different versions of goblins. But, believe it or not, there are times I've actually thought to myself, yes, Green Goblin has done a lot of wrongdoings to Peter. But I think a lot of people who don't really know Hobgoblin sleep on this character. Now, there have been many people who have been this character underneath this mask. Hell, there's been Jason McIndale, who first he was called Jack-O-Lantern. Robert Kingsley, that's who I would want the Hobgoblin to be. Hell, even Ned Leeds was Hobgoblin at one point, and I know people have tried to connect that. Maybe that may be a turn. We'll see Ned turn to the dark side, but I'm like, to me, I look at that, I'm like, and I say to those people, there's been no build. What build do you have of showing Ned Leeds as turning? Why would he turn on Peter? But I definitely want the Hobgoblin, and I'm talking about the real Hobgoblin, not a guy in a orange version of the Goblin suit, because that was the one thing I hated about the Goblin suit in general. It just looked too Power Ranger-ish. I want the real deal. What you see right here in this image. The Hobgoblin is a must, in my opinion. Next on the list, guys, you can see for yourself is Matt Gargan, aka the Scorpion. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. We saw him in prison, correct? Correct me on that. He was talking with Michael Keaton's Adrian Toomes, the Vulture. I believe he was there. That was Matt Gargan, the Scorpion. But with that being said, we still need to see him. I still want to see Scorpion in the Scorpion costume. Maybe a variation like the variation that you see right here. This was a costume that Mac had later on in the comics. But still, we need to. I would love to see Peter trying to run and gun and trying to stay ahead of Gargan with his tail and everything like that. The problem also with Matt Gargan is the fact that with Scorpion is a lot of his origin is still based around JJ, of why he became the Scorpion. JJ plays a big role in the Scorpion's origin, but unfortunately it would be, I wouldn't say it would be hard, but once again, there's no build of JJ being that kind of vindictive of trying to get one over on Spider-Man. As we've seen so far in the MCU, it hasn't been that way, but I still would love to see the Scorpion in some shape or form, and not just outside of his costume, but in the costume, as you see right here, the Scorpion. Now guys, we're starting to get a little bit to the Spider-Man villains that are more based around organized crime and things like that. I still feel that a Spider-Man series or Spider-Man movie based in a lot of the crime bosses would work. And one that you see right here is Mr. Alonzo Lonnie Lincoln, aka Tombstone. I love Tombstone. He's one of my favorites up there. And Spider-Man has a lot of villains that are based in, the organized crime. Silvermane, Hammerhead, the Maggie, Man Mountain, all these characters, even Kingpin, of course. But Lonnie Lincoln is another one. Even though they kind of consider him just a mob enforcer, Lonnie is more intelligent than people get him credit for. Now, I would prefer the albino look that you see right here with the flat top. I know I did like his look in the Spider-Man game, where more like he was like a biker gang in Harlem, but I prefer this look for him more, and besides, once again, this would be a really good reason to really push Robbie Robinson, one of my favorite supporting characters. Robbie and Tombstone go way back, and out of all the Spider-Man movies, we have never really gotten an indefinite, real depiction of a good Robbie. A guy who truly loves Peter as Spider-Man and as Peter himself. So yes, the mountain albino muscle, Lonnie Lincoln, aka Tombstone, I feel would be great. And speak of the devil, guys, again with the half we just talked about. I just talked about his half brother, but Dimitri, aka the Chameleon, the Master of Disguise, one of Spider-Man's oldest Rogues Gallery members. I always loved the Chameleon, and once again, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but we seen this Chameleon in the MCU. I believe he was in Far From Home. I think he was. I think he was. But I still think it would be cool to see a movie centered around a cat and mouse game between the Chameleon and Spider-Man. You can even make him like he was in, I guess you could say, in the animated series. Remember, he was like an assassin for hire, but he was a master of disguise. I don't want that kind of tech that he had in the. I really want him to be a master of disguise, like go old school with Chameleon instead of technology based. It would be even cooler, because then Peter's really got to use his senses of, okay, is this who it is? You can play a real cat and mouse game with Spider-Man and the Chameleon, and yeah, see him in that white face that you see right there. And that brings us to another character who is the leader of the Inner Demons gang. Excuse me. But probably my favorite new Spider-Man villain out of the big time era, Martin Lee, aka Mr. Negative. The only true villain that I really liked. I didn't care for Screwball. Fuck that character. It was stupid. I didn't care for the Freak. I didn't care for. There have been a couple other ones that, Slott made during that run that just didn't last. I didn't really care. But Martin Lee definitely stood out. I liked his look. I liked what the way he approached it. It was more like, okay, Martin it was kind of more like the Jekyll and Hyde approach, which I like. Is Martin good, but Mr. Negative is a different side to him that takes over, or because he is a product of experiments on him. But I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I love the look. I heard there was rumors that they were gonna try to bring him in, maybe in the next movie. Like I heard They were like Steven Yeun was gonna play him. That's a good pick. I would also throw Daniel Day Kim up in there as well. But yeah, you know, I love Mr. Negative. He's one of my favorites out of the new Rogues gallery. And last but not least on the list, the 8th choice that I picked. There's a character a lot of only true Spider-Man fans would know. Not that many people would know, but I'm talking about Black Tarantula. Not talking about Tarantula, the other guy, but no, Black Tarantula. Basically, head of an organization in South America. There's rumors that he's over 700 years old. Basically, he's a mixture of a lot of things. Think Spider-Man's version of Ra's al Ghul, Bane, and I would also put a little bit of the Phantom in there. Now, when him and Spidey went at it, yeah, he was a lot. Even though he was a big guy, he was faster than Spider-Man, stronger than him, and Peter had a fight on his hand. The mantle of Black Tarantula is passed down from father to son. Like I said, similar to the Phantom, the Ghost Who Walks. He has an organization down in South America, but his organization has moved over, and many times he's been used in other worlds. Sometimes he goes as a villain, but then there have been times where he has helped allies. I remember him being an ally, helping White Tiger and a couple other people in Shadowland, the Shadowland story arc. But yeah, you know, Black Tarantula is one of those characters I wouldn't mind seeing, you know, a battle between them. Like I said, think Ra's al Ghul and Bane mixed together. Black Tarantula. So there you guys have it, guys. Those are 8 characters I still, from Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery, I still would want to see live action. Like I said, he has so many, and they could use a lot of them. Even the lesser known characters, they could use. I mean, these are characters I could see being the main antagonists or so. You know, I wouldn't say make a whole movie around Peter going after White Rabbit or somebody like that, but you know what I mean. Like, these are characters you can really boast around or have them used. Like I said, I would really love to see Peter and, let's say, Daredevil team up in a movie to stop a gang war. And you can use some of these characters that are part of different organized crime. That would really be cool, in my opinion. You know, Peter's not. I look at Peter as Spider-Man as not just a street level hero. I look at him as the everyday hero. He's a hero that can do the cosmic stuff. Sometimes, even though he's out of his element, he can do the global stuff. But at the end of the day, yeah, he is your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. The spectacular one, the amazing, the sensational, and he needs to stick to what he is. He is the greatest hero in NYC. He's one of the greatest heroes ever created. And Marvel just needs to continue to make that shine. But Lorenzo, I hope you enjoyed this, my dude. Sorry about not using the camera. I just wanted to use my voice and images today. But other than that, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this. I will see you guys next time.